Everyone, welcome back.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Let's get things working. Got everything up. We got screen, we got recording. Cool. Oh boy. All right. What's interesting is I looked at the news calendar and it looks like right at 9:30 there's something coming out that's going to impact the market. Fed Collins speech. I don't even know what that's meant to be, but well, basically it means you sit out the first few minutes, so it doesn't really have an impact on what I do anyway. Sit out the first few minutes, let all that volatility pass by, and there may be some opportunities. What's interesting here is looking at the SPY chart. It's all basically an uptrend. Every time it pushes down, it gets bought up, and these lows are just getting higher and higher and higher. To me, this is a great big bull market. So overnight gap down, I'm thinking of a breakout to the upside just based on this bigger picture.
I mean, they did say buy.
No traded yet. Yeah, there you go. You're all into this. Now you got the big push already.
Yeah, I actually bought 2K this morning. So I bought Russell 2000 futures this morning off the low and got a really nice move this morning already.
Nice.
So I think I took like 22 contracts or something like that. So I made like 1,200, $1,300.
Nice. Hold on to it. It's gonna keep running.
Yeah, I already sold it. I'm done. I'm just taking my money now. I'm just gonna hang out with you, find people, maybe do something stupid on ES if we get a nice sell down to that. I really like that area, like 593, like pre-market low kind of a spot on SPY today. So I'm gonna kind of watch that and see if we get a buyer to step in there and just see if we can just keep doing what we keep doing over and over again, right? Like dip buy, see if we do it again.
That's what I'm seeing as well. And even in this pre-market activity, you have higher lows. So all that is a setup for pushing higher. So anyway, break of this 594.37 area is where I'll be interested. If it stays high is where be careful with it, but then you have a level overhead. So let's see. Should be another fun one.
Yeah, I mean, you bought premium at the end of, I was looking at your chart, it's like the 16th, I think, like right in the end of pre-market. There's this whole premium area that were basically already tested this morning. So that just seems super significant right there. Yeah, that guy right there.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I see it now.
Literally wicked right into it this morning.
Nice. Yeah, get a bounce off there and let it run.
But that just shows you how accurate those levels are from day to day to day. Like it's a couple days later and it's like wicking it to the tick almost. I mean, stuff's crazy.
Amazing, right?
Fun.
Believe in it. You know, you have to put risk on when you're day trading. Your money unless you believe in it. When you have something that's consistent, like levels that are always being respected, I can believe in it. I can confidently put risk on it, and you won't mismanage your trade. And that's the key with indicators. You got to believe in them. Otherwise, find indicators that you believe in. Cool. All right, people are still coming in. And there we go. I guess I'll be back in just a minute. Thor is here.
Yeah, I'm here. Let me get my screen up also, by the way. Just a reminder that whenever I present, it will most likely auto pin my screen. So if you want to see Avi's screen, which I would not blame you if that was what you wanted to do, just unpin mine. Go find his and pin it. So right now, for me, watching the SPY, I'm really interested in as you can see, we've been consolidating quite well. The really thing that I kind of see that I'm finding really interesting is this. If you look at MES, which is our futures for SPY, we basically have this daily high trend, right? That's been basically coming across each daily high. We flipped that daily high trend and started hitting it from the top side before, and we've been holding it very, very nicely. But I want to show you all like how important these are. Look at the price action yesterday in the morning in the pre-market. Look how we were just weaving right up that trend, and then at the open we just exploded right off of it, right? No worries. But now looking at today, one thing we have to kind of keep in mind is that trend, we are actually kind of reapproaching it. So if we get a sell down, this is one of the reasons I like S3 so much for SPY, because if we can get a sell down, chop for a little bit and have this, daily high trend come in here and give us a little boost, we can get a really nice move. However, if we get a run to the edge today, we might actually get a nice failure today back to it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Could be a lot of fun.
Right. So, guys, we do have about 12 minutes to the open. If there's any other tickers, we can look at it now. If we're not going to do that, then we do have now 11 minutes left. Might do a little power nap. Be perfect. It'd be fresh for the open. Or you got a question here from Sully Trader. Your trading view tool for futures. Could you go through that today?
Yeah, it's actually in here will probably not be the best time, because we'll be a lot of trading and a lot of questions to actually go through it. But if you came by my 11 o'clock session in BBT, which I believe everybody has access to, that's in here for the most part, I can certainly like split it. But if we get a little slow, like a little bit closer to like 10 o'clock or 10:15, like before we cut, if we're a little slow, I can pop it open real quick and show you the guts of it.
Yeah, that'd be good. I did that the other day too. Some people are asking about trade reviews and stuff. So after the first 30 minutes, then yeah, I did that. So we can do that maybe.
So on the Avenacci levels in trading view, unfortunately, no bueno there on that. That it's just they're just not reporting those in. There are a few different platforms you can get them off of. I was chatting with some people, so it's it's not just DOS. There's 2 or 3 platforms out there you can get them on. You might want to split around. Some of those platforms aren't super expensive either, but we one of these days we'll just have to start. We just need to have a bot just automatically broadcasting Avi's Avenacci levels to everybody.
Yeah. I should just put screenshots out there all over the internet before the open, huh? And get all the levels out. All right, we got Svetlana, one of a QBTS. So it looks like QBTS is heavily in play. Lots of momentum already this morning before the open. So it's good for opening volatility plays, ORBs and such things. So yeah, if that's your strategy, scalping the open, I think this is a good one. And you have RGTI. Interesting.
PBTS has already blown out its ATR to the top side pretty significantly. I mean, it's probably in play, so that's not always a bad thing, but
yeah, you want to be careful with the
in the
heavy
floor levels as well already. So it's going to be a hard pressed long. I'd have trouble longing this one. If anything, I'd look for a capitulation and see, because like over the past past week, it's gone from $8 up to like $13. So, and the volume really died yesterday. So, see what it does. I like it. It definitely has a lot of movement to it. Ooh, look at the order void above it.
And we have RGTI. Looks like it broke through previous day's high, or a couple of days ago high, and it's holding above that. So if it turns resistance into support, you have something to work with. Again, looks like there's going to be a lot of momentum on this at the open, a lot of volatility on this. So for all of you guys who like volatility at the open, these are things you want to look at. Again, not stuff that I'm going to do, but up to you. Abhishek, you want to get into Apple and Amazon? Let's see. Apple, why Apple? It's a disaster. It's got nothing in it.
I
It's a
do
tight
not
race.
like Apple right now at all.
Yeah, just leave it. Leave it alone.
So reasoning though behind it though, I know it can seem alluring, but right now it's in the wrong ranges. So it's basically you have to like there's two different methodologies for how you trade. Either you do kind of like what Avi and I do, which is we basically kind of prey on the fact that the market does the same thing over and over again until it doesn't. So we can kind of keep hitting the same play over and over again. Is it not going to work sometimes? Of course. But it's going to work more often than it doesn't. You can tell just by saying over and over again until it doesn't, right? There's only one until it doesn't. So you have to like one of the issues with constantly hunting gappers and fast moving tickers and low floats is you're always hunting tickers that are doing something they've never done before and then trying to anticipate how the market's going to respond to that. And it's if you catch it right, hell yeah. I mean, you're going to make some great money, you know what I mean? But if you but you're probably going to catch it wrong. You know what I mean? Because it's just more likely what it's going to do. So in Apple, in this instance, it's definitely in that weird kind of until it doesn't. It's in like a choppy area. It's in a lower range, but it's opening in a buying range. So it's probably going to be really choppy and nasty to trade. So you just end up just donating your money to the market for a little while. And remember, if you want to donate your money, you are welcome to send a check payable to Avi at feedmykids.com.
Yeah, take donations. That's how we really make money here. All donations. Right on, man. Yeah, Amazon story to Apple in my eyes. Not too different. A little cleaner, but really same story.
No, he won't actually spend your money. What he'll do is he'll just put it in a fund for you and then just send it back to you after it bears some interest for a couple of days. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh, you know how many people have told me to start a trading fund and we'll fund it 100
Yeah,
million.
no way.
And I'm just like, you know what? I know I'll trade differently if I'm trading your money. I need to.
Yeah, no way. It's
It just
well,
can't be
the thing is the reason why you came to do this thing is because you wanted anonymity and freedom. You wanted to be able to time, and once you start answering to other people, you know, and dealing with emails, that's what got Ed, Average Joe, into trouble. You remember Ed Martin?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
he had a little fund going, and they, you know, and it started underproducing. And when it started underproducing, all of his people got mad and started wanting their money back. But he didn't have the money; it was underproducing, so he couldn't do that. And it just got him in a whole bunch of legal BS. And he came out on good on the whole thing. It wasn't. I mean, he was fine. The dude was a gold star on the whole thing. He didn't do anything wrong. But when people give you your money, and now you're answered to people, and it's just like, no, thank you. I'd rather just, I don't want to fish for people. I'd rather just teach them how to fish.
It's the same thing. It's the whole reason we're here. That freedom. Absolutely. Thing in the world, you got to say. Sleep well at night.
Mm-hmm. Tesla's kind of interesting here. Tesla just took on a ton of volume and it's stuffed really, really well. That's really interesting. Their order book actually really leans up to the top side. This might be an interesting kind of might be like a bull trap a little bit. Where are we at on the daily on this thing? 350? Oh, we are right near premium from 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sold off, right? That high of a couple days ago, and even 4 days ago, 5 days ago, all in the 350 zone.
351-ish.
Yeah, interesting place.
350 to 351. That's 353. That's R4 for me. My R4 is 351.43. So that puts us at R4. It's a lower range, but it is a wide range. So that's kind of fun. Might be worth keeping an eye on Tesla.
I get the feel there's going to be a lot of volatility at the open, and there's the first 5 minutes, first 15 minutes, that kind of scalping trading. I'd struggle to hold on to this thing because it's going to get bumpy. It's going to get.
I'd let it bounce around a little bit. So one of the things everyone, like, from having some market maker buddies, you gotta like understand this. Market makers are like commercial airplane pilots, right? They only have their hands on the wheel during taxi, takeoff, landing, taxi back, and turbulence. So once the things are in motion, the algorithm completely takes over. That's when easy trading happens. Right, trading is very difficult while the pilot's taxiing, moving all over the place. Tower doesn't give me permission to leave. Right, I mean, ask Captain, he flies. I mean, it's a big pain in the butt to get down the runway. You know what I mean? But once you're in the air, you hit the button, you sit back, you start listening to a podcast and call it a day. It's like, it's no big deal once you're up there. That's why you want to wait for this thing to set up for 5 or 10 minutes. Wait for the orders to get tiered in and then let the pilot set it into autopilot. And then you get to just sit for the move. If it doesn't take off, don't get in. You know what I mean? You're just stuck on the runway.
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that example, by the way. Big Tony, if you ever go to the NYSE, ask to see this guy named Big Tony. He used to be a lineman for Penn State when he was a young guy. I told Avi about him because I know Avi did a tour at Penn State for a little bit. But yeah, it just asks for Big Tony. If you go there, Avi, you got it, because you guys would probably get along famously with that kind of a connection. The dude still talks about it, still stuck there though. Still back when I was a Penn State. You get him because get some beers going with him later, and he's just like,
there's so much pride in the Nittany Lions. Oh my
so
God.
much pride.
I love it. It was such a party being in that school. Oh man. All right.
Got about 2 minutes till this party gets started.
Yeah. Okay.
I love how Tesla has like no orders above 350. It's just dead in here. Like it really looks like it's going to squeeze to about 350 and then just sell off like crazy. I like how they're absorbing like when people buy too, the market makers offloading into the buyers right now in pre-market. Ooh, there's some more orders tiered to the downside too. Ooh, yeah, this would be one I'd watch.
So anticipating a little sell-off to begin with.
Yeah, the market's already starting to go down. Futures are already starting to sell into the open a titch.
Yeah. I'm very curious actually for the bounce on the SPY off of the level. I think I took this trade a few days ago when it went through there. Looks like something I would take.
We got that trend, that high trend coming in on ES. It'll be right in the same spot. It'll be a good spot to look for SPY, see if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a party in here. How many people we got in here now? 125. Nice. 27. Yeah, baby. This is where everyone comes to party.
Oh man. Pretty soon Andrew's gonna shut down the YouTube feed and be like, everyone just show up in here.
Just go to peak. I'm tired of it. Come hang out with Avi and Thor. Have a party. Drinks and hot tub after.
Yes, drinks and hot tub. That's the key. That's what it's all about.
That's why we trade. What is it, Mandalorian? This is the way. I was watching that last night. Oh, such a fun series. It's like my second time too. Ryan just got out of the hot tub. Wow, all my alerts just hit. Meta, PLTR, Google, Amazon, and Nvidia all alerted. That was a lot. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh yeah, I'm really digging the bounce here, even from yesterday's activity. Just the bounce at 592.55. If it popped down a little further, it would be great. 593, I'm not going to go long. Just need to get close to the level. So there's two potential longs in my view at either of these levels, 592.55 or 594.37.
A lot of selling at the open. All right, let's see what ES did. ES is definitely bouncing a little bit here.
And those of you who like Tesla, look at that jumpy activity. It went that whole range within a minute. Wow.
Oh, Tesla's in the spot, huh?
Mm-hmm. Jumpy as expected. You know, that intraday level is so tempting to go long on the SPY above 593, but it's just not my level.
I want it to be a little lower for a long for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm really waiting for, ideally. This is where FOMO is in the picture. Time for handcuffs.
Gold plated.
Gold-plated handcuffs wrapped in fur.
Nice. 35143.
Tesla, that's the one to really watch. 350, it's really just sitting
A
there.
lot of absorption here.
Yeah. See, it's putting in wicks.
R4. It's a good spot.
And yeah, we had someone before the open ask about QBTS. You can look at it now. You can see it's just very messy. I want to be careful. Lots of momentum. Lots of movement, but messy. You can hardly
Here they
pick
go.
it.
They're buying.
Yeah, and Tesla breakout 351. There it is. Very good. Those of you who like it. That kind of
Now
traded.
I'm watching it. We got to the level now. Now I'm going to watch and see what they do with it.
Yeah, put it on the chart here.
Boom. Yes. All right. They just tiered more orders in when they bought. Nice. They're above premium now. So that they just bought through the 2 days ago high. So this is where you want to see a response. If they keep buying here, I mean, this could end up, being fairly interesting. I think our maximum upside though would be 358.20 calculated off the pre-market low. So kind of keep that in mind. There's not a ton of upside in Tesla here. So even though we're no longer really in an area to short, we want to get a little bit lower again. Like I'd like to see it come back under 351.50. Right now we're too high. We're above that. We don't want to ever go short like above the daily high on a breakout like this. You want to come back in and then reoffer.
Yep, higher lows, buyer stepping up.
See, there it goes. Pow. Sexy.
Nice.
Love watching Tesla do this stuff.
Yeah, on a day when it does this, it's always fun. Or some of the other tickers we're trying to watch today. QBTS, RGTI. Let's get those. Here you go. Our GTI has been interesting. For those of you who look at it, that 1 minute ORB going down. Here, I'll put on the chart for you. So what I see here is you have the first 2 minutes where it basically showed you the high and low. And then when it did the break of that low, that's an ORB setup again to the downside.
We just took a really big sell on ES.
Yeah. Yep. Seeing the market come down as well. Yeah.
SPY just alerted for me. So we must be getting down near S3.
Very good. That's the long down there, 392.55 in that zone. Very, very interesting. Sometimes I wonder why my rule book is so strict, because there's places to get in, but you always remember those big losses you made, and now there's a reason to have the rule in place.
That is a fact, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, guessing that would be a long somewhere at 593, but not these days.
The other thing too, and you have to remember, it's not just it's about range, right? Like you want to get a good move so that you can make some good money without having to be too aggressive, right? And especially like if you're playing like an option or something like that, the closer you can get to the edge, the better, because you can stop out for the smallest amount possible. So, and you don't want to just grab in now and end up bag holding deep in. You're gonna get to do one of those enjoyable moments where you feel your guts drop out the bottom of you while you're sitting there knowing you're doing something horrible.
Exactly what you mean. We all have. There you go, guys. QBTS looks interesting. The breakout to the upside now. Keep an eye. 1550. Very interesting. Again, super volatile stuff if you're into such kind of trading. See that? Again, you got the opening range. You got a possible breakout of that range happening. Here's a retest area, perhaps 1520 or so. Basically, opening price. Look at the opening price. Key area. Yeah, stick to your rules. There are reasons for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fascinating. On all my levels down to the downside on the SPY, every level to my eyes looks like it could be a long, just because there were previous breakouts there. This one, even the earlier one, I took that, I think, of last week. All of these levels, 588, 591. Just got to find that bounce if and when it happens. There you go. Break low of day on the SPY now. Let it come on down.
Say, come on down.
On. Okay, which contract? If I'm going to take it down there, 592. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. 592 in the money. That will be in the money. Don't want to play with out of the money in this kind of activity. QBTS, guys. Who's in that? Who's catching that ripper? Moment of entry was in the last 60 seconds or so when we were talking about it. This is, again, scalping. You're in it, you keep partialing 5 or 10% as it goes in your favor. Very interesting.
The party continues.
There it is, QBTS, 5-minute ORB. I'm tempted to put my ski gloves on. Got this air conditioner right over my head, and it's like right on my hands and keyboard. Knuckles are all frozen. Can't
I
type.
would die.
I don't know. I gotta move the desk to another part of the room.
I get cold so easy. Not only am I a Floridian, I'm also just thin-blooded, I think, a little bit, because I just live in hot climate all the time. Whenever we do the Vancouver things, I'm always just freezing.
Yeah, you like the warmth. I like warmth and humidity. I'm very comfortable in those environments.
You can come hang out in St. Augustine every time. You'll be just fine.
Awesome. Yes. I miss living in Florida. That was fun. Surfing all the time. Between surfing and flying airplanes, that was a good life. Look at that. QBTS. Already getting a 50-cent move out of something that's a $15 stock. That's pretty good. Satinder, 592.55 down here. I would be interested in a long there, because if you look further back, it got there, it consolidated, then it broke out. This was just yesterday. And this could just be the retest of that breakout that happened yesterday. You go further back, you got a similar picture. Consolidation, and it did a breakout from there. So key level, just be retesting. More specifically, I'm really interested in yesterday's action. So let's see. Again, just a retest of a breakout, very typical kind of price action. Nothing unusual. All right, we're getting there slowly. Every 3 minutes, it makes a new low.
I'm liking crude right now. I'm watching crude futures kind of near this buying area. We found kind of an absorption here and then a nice buy response. So I'm kind of seeing, I mean, this is S3. So it's a good spot to look for a potential setup. So I'm kind of watching this guy down here. We'll see what happens. I already got that good trade this morning, so I'm just kind of looking to goof around, see if I can get into something, see if I can make a little bit of money. Crude's a really nice one to look at because I can take a good number of contracts on it, but it doesn't really cost me a lot. Like I can risk like maybe like $100 or something, and I can get like 10 contracts on a pretty decent stop, and I can make like $1,000 on it pretty easy. So
nice. Yeah, I'm really curious about these commodity futures. I know you trade them once in a while. I've never really looked at them.
yeah, I really like them a lot. They're like I've been trading a lot of gold. Like I swung gold long like friggin' like last quarter. I mean, the gold just kept running nonstop for like the entire time I was holding it. Yeah, I trade micros. Yes, I don't trade full size. I'm not a gangster.
That's pretty cool, man. Those futures.
So
you guys in
Philip,
RGT, so RGT, I guess, new low going down, reverse ABCD, all that good stuff if you're into it. But yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was going to ask Thor, is Tesla back in an area that you were talking about shorting?
So it's definitely getting back into an area where where I'd be interested in shorting it. I like that it made a new 5-minute low there as well. So yeah, now for me, strategy wise, Tesla's a dead ticker for me today now, because it's in a lower, wider range and it blew out the top side of the range. It's very likely that it could just chop the mid of this range, which for some might be more than enough distance to make money. For me, because for me, I'd have to run an incredibly wide stop on this one to feel comfortable. So I would need it to run at least back through like, down into the lower end of the range. And it's possible. We've definitely started selling. So I feel pretty good about being short on it. I just don't know if I would take it. So, but look here, you can actually see the algorithm has, hold on, let me show you. There we go. Get back here. So you can see here that once we hit up here, we started selling, and the sell started dropping away, and then our buys were absorbed. The buys didn't push up into the book. So the market maker was trapping retail right there. And then the response was selling, again, trapping, selling. So right now, all of our large volumes coming in on the sell side of things. So it looks like Tesla's ready to, Tesla got up through premium. We've now gotten forced back inside of the high of those candles. Right, so this is where big sell-offs start. You can have something that goes from here we could fill the downside gap on Tesla technically, right? If we deviated ATR, we could go down to like 343 today, right? Which just gets us back to PDC, by the way. That's totally doable.
Interesting.
So I just would have liked it to have stayed a little under R4 and just kind of hung out there. So because it would have kept the ATR from getting so high. I don't like that because I want to get a big run across the range. So this purple line here is my calculated ATR high. So basically what I'm doing is I'm averaging a 14-day look back, right? And I'm taking those session highs and session lows off of every day and creating an average. That's how we get this guy right here, this 1675 on Tesla, right? So then if this is the session high, the lowest we should go would be 1675 in that direction. If this is the session low, the highest we should go is here, right? So what you can see here is we stopped just above session high, right? So this is one of those great spots, especially if you're a reversal trader. If you run session high really fast like that, you can get some really nice moves back across the range.
Very cool.
Look at that selling. That's pretty. That's big dots. Wee.
Look at that level. My goodness. On the SPY. 592.89. It's not a place I can enter. My rules are I got to enter closer to my levels, but on the 30-minute activity, just looking at yesterday, 2 wicks right there at the same place, and then a breakout and a retest on a smaller picture.
Yeah, my S3 is 592.83.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
So it's right there, but it doesn't look like it's buying right now. So I don't like that it looks like we're gonna offer lower. So we'll see. We really need this to defend and make some new highs real fast, or else we're going to probably go eat lower.
Yeah, the pattern to my eyes looks like a descending wedge at the moment at the level. Just to break through. Looks good for a short, or rather to break through.
We have
down.
more bid just coming in on SPY at 590 and 588 to the downside. So those are very large institutional orders they're bringing on to the downside. So that's they did bring one in at 599 and 600 as well. So now we have a really big kind of weird range they're creating here. Anytime we're buying, we're not going up. So it looks like we're going to sell towards 590.
All right. This is my area for a long, if it gives me serious buying activity. Otherwise, I will let it go. Oh, see that wick? What the hell is that?
No, we just cracked my inflection point. So this is an algorithm.
Yeah.
These are just algorithms on SPY starting to hit. We made that critical low. We're right into that level you're talking about. This is where the volume should be. You know what I mean?
You got to be super careful here. It's way too jumpy for my style of entry.
So, any reason why you're not looking at MNQ? Is it because it's in narrow range?
Oh, why isn't it showing my freaking level? Hold on. Oh, it's probably because I'm on a 5-minute chart. Hold on. For some reason, my futures ones do weird until I do that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that I'm not looking at it. It's just not low enough yet. It needs to get down here if I'm going to be interested in it. But you nailed it, though, right? Narrow range, right? So narrow range means I expect to close outside of range, not inside of range, or at least on the edges, right? So if we keep selling lower, if we don't start buying pretty soon, then we could run out the downside, right, to the ATR down here, right? So and I don't want to get caught in that. So I want it to come down and hit S3 and then do a really nice setup there and break. You know what I mean? And that would work for me. But I want to, if it gets too low, this is definitely one worth abandoning, especially, I mean, so far our CVD is quite red. We've been selling more than we've been buying to start the session, and our order book seems to be very well tiered to the downside. Look at this. Looking at my screen, look at this market structure shift. Look at this algorithm. This is why I like futures so much. Look how the algorithm, when this sell happened, look how it completely restructured the order book from top to bottom. It pulled orders off the top side when that sell hit and threw orders into the downside. This is what algo trading is. I mean, you can watch and see the algorithm making different decisions. Now you have to use your patterning, use your know-how to kind of go because you have to, this is just something it did. What is it going to do to respond to that? Does that mean it goes down? Does it mean to go up? That's where your patterns come in and all of those things. But it is so interesting to see it do this stuff. I love it. That bow and then a selling.
Nice. So that's great. You can see exactly pinpoint the time at what they made when they made their decision.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then everyone goes, "Oh, what was that big? Well, everything moved. Boom! That was an algorithm." I mean, it's just throwing just an absolute massive amount of volume into the book when it does that. Pivot bot is alerting SPY right now.
Yeah, the SPY pattern-wise is looking weak. Breakout retest just happening now. Looking good for the short if you guys are into that. I'm not shorting it.
Oh yeah, PLTR is coming into range.
Ooh, there it goes. SPY new low looks like coming up. Very close. There it is. So anyone in here get some fun? QBTS, RGTI, Tesla. There were scalps in all of those. ELTR, nice. Got that. AMD, NVIDIA. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you guys know what you're doing. This is great. Omar, what are you saying? Trump is going to say something at 3 p.m. with the Secretary of Defense. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Those are important to know. Oh, shit. Here we go. This is my setup. It's coming. Coming. And be careful. I can't enter too big yet. Be very careful. Yeah. All right. I'm getting in long here. Start with 200 contracts for now. Oh, come on. Get it. There we go. Wrong order. All right. There we go. Let's get moving. Got a bit of a bad fill on the last one, but all right.
I went ahead and bought. I bought MES with you.
Nice.
I'm long 59.54. It hammered with really strong volume and then made a new high there. So I went ahead and got in.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good.
So if I'm holding nice right now, if we dump back down, I'll just kill it. Call it fun. Really nice. Look at that volume response right there. That's nice. All right, so we're gonna have let's watch the value offering here. Let's see how we respond to this, because that's a strong engulfing candle on a lot of volume, Avi. That was a very strong candle.
Yep, I'm getting in a fair bit heavier now. Yeah, what I'm watching is also moving my stop up to this green line. That's the encouraging part. That's basically yesterday's activity. Alrighty. I didn't get as many contracts as I want just because the stop has to be so wide, but the target is so far out. It's basically yesterday's high. So let's see if it goes. Great.
Yeah, Abby, are you presenting?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we're both presenting. You can pick which one you want to watch, or you can watch both. You can pin one to be bigger on your screen.
I don't know how to do that.
All you do is unpin mine, and then you got to go around and look for the relevant one. All right, I'm going to move to break even on this position. Why not? So if it comes back down, I'll just get back in it again if it looks good. So I can show you I'm in here. So you can see I got in here on this as we're coming in here. So I'm going to aim for somewhere up around yesterday's close. See what we can do.
Nice.
Can't really see my P&L right now because it's hidden underneath my sell stop. It's right there. I'm up like 175. Not up like, Avi money or anything, but just kidding. Man, look at Tesla dump. Man, that thing was a sweet sell. Did I not say it looked like it was going to go run through that and then just sell off like crazy? Oh
yes.
It wasn't my play, so I couldn't do anything with it. But man, that was pretty.
Nice. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Directly at the level and straight down. Love it. Yeah, I do have room to add to this position if I can believe that it's going to hold above 592.89. I'm waiting for the candlesticks to tell me. So far, it's very interesting.
It shouldn't come back. Let me pull up SPY. Hold on.
Yeah, that's 593.
Oh, there's some buying.
Yeah, so I'm getting in a bit more there. Let's see if I can really pump this thing to go. Good thing is it's in the money, so it's easy to hold. I don't have to worry too much about time decay yet.
It really shouldn't come back much lower than 59.58 on ES. What is that on SPY?
Yeah, here we go. That's the key area right there. See the
oh yeah, S3 59.592.
Okay. Yep. Now I'm into the size that I like. Now I gotta watch it. I can still add a bit more if I can just get this candle to hold where it is, basically 593-ish. Yeah, fantastic. Good. Let's get in. Looks good. All the probabilities are right, so it's worth the risk. If it don't work, no big deal. It's worth the risk. That's the whole thinking.
Absolutely.
My stop is my stop is basically if it loses the low of that previous buyer candle, 592.75, basically halfway through the big white one, I'll be out of there. I'll try it again.
Mhm. Yeah, my S3 is 592.80. It shouldn't come much lower than that.
Yep. Makes sense.
That's perfect. You can even see where we were offering that as discount earlier.
Yep. I got
And
my.
we're holding the open price right now. So they're trying to get the market to buy the open again.
It's amazing. I used to always trade off the open price. A couple of years ago, it was a big deal for me.
All right, we're
Here
gonna
comes the
offer.
stop. No, look at that beautiful bounce
We've
right
got
there.
we've got a buyer here.
Yeah, I'm going with that buyer, buying a few more contracts with that one. Let's see. Come on. Now it's at pretty much max risk. I should not be scaling in much more here. Unless I can tighten the stop, which is not possible right now. I would like to put a hard stop in place, but with the SPY, that is the most difficult thing to do.
For real.
Especially with options and these things. Anyways, so what I'm watching, guys, I'm watching the price on the SPY, not the option. I'm watching if it hits basically 592.75, a little in that area around 592.70. That's when I'll hit the button and exit. If it comes there. If not, then let it run.
Fairly solid buy there.
Yep, I see it. Oh man, I want to buy more with that. I can't. I just can't get too much more.
Yeah.
They
need to rebuy the open. We're under the open now, so they need to rebuy that.
Yeah, it's pushing down there. Anyways, let's see. I do like that candle right there. I'm gonna put a level right there. Basically below that level. That buyer, that's when I'll be out of there. That's the exit. Okay, here it comes. Let's hit the stop or not. Very close to the stop there. All right, now that's the stop. Out of there. Okay, liquidate. Cool. I'll try it again in a few minutes if it works.
Yeah, solid, man. Good control on that one. Just let them sit in here. We've got an order void underneath us, so.
Very interesting. What is interesting here is also I'm seeing these lower highs, which is making it tricky to go long. Again, bigger picture. In my eyes, it's a long. So once again, it's back at where I would go long right here. Let's see if we get something. I would take 592, same contract. Let's see if this goes. Yeah. Enter here was basically the same entry as before. You gotta love these levels, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm giving it another go right here with the stop right at this entry candle, which is a very tight stop compared to previously. So I can actually go in a bit heavier right away. All right, and let's see what happens. Ideally hold above 593. Bigger picture is still good, 30-minute. So the stop is right below the entry candle, about 1.7 or so on the option contract. The more it buys off that level, the more I'll scale in. I still have room to add even here as far as max risk is concerned for me. There it is, a little bit of a high. I can get a bit more in there. There we go. I like this average entry price better than the previous one, but let's see. The whole point is it's still got to go. It's got to work.
The algorithm is being very indecisive right now. Do we have any? I didn't check this morning. Let me double check for. We've got a few different Fed speakers today. I wonder what they're talking about.
Someone say someone here's Trump is coming on at what time? 1 o'clock? 3 o'clock? Defense 3 o'clock, yeah. Something going on there. All right, here it comes. Buying again off of that level. Let's get in more. No, yes, no. Let's push a little higher and I can need confirmation. There we go. All right, now we can really get into something. Okay, so the entry price is good. I got a good stop. This is a much better position than previously. there still is a stop in place, which means there's every probability it may not work. The thing is, you got to understand, guys, once you enter a position, even with a perfect setup, you don't know if it's going to work or not. And that's the whole purpose of stops. That's don't ever pretend like you know what's going to happen. You never know.
Yeah, don't put your onus of like whether or not you feel like you're successful in trading or not by focus on the performance aspect. That's the only thing you can control in this entire process is when you get in, out, how you handle those aspects in between. Once you're in a position, the market is surprisingly more weird and random than you would imagine. Right. That's why, there's traders in here like myself. I used to run a really higher hit rate when I used to scalp and take really small positions. I make significantly more money than I do now with a significantly lower hit rate. You know what I mean? I have like a 40% hit rate some days, even like yesterday, I had a 25% hit rate. I still made a couple grand that day. You know what I mean? But because the one trade I hit really nice and I held well and hit my profit targets. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a different mentality. There's a nice little pop on. We're buying some premium there for you.
Yep, I added in onto that, and now I'm at pretty much full risk. I cannot add further. My risk is still below the purple line, burgundy line.
That was 2 attempts to sell that were both bought. So the more often we do that, I mean, in theory.
Right. Let's see now. Still holding above these green lines.
Handle, but whatever.
And this wicks on the SPY is just, unfortunately, very normal. It never behaves like other tickers. I wish it would, but it's just what it is. Oh, let's go. So I was much more confident putting on the size on this position because I got a better entry closer to where I want to put the stop. So RVR wise, it's much better. Now it's just a matter of waiting for something to happen, either a stop out or it hits a target. There's only really two possibilities.
And I'm just watching on my charts, Avi. Where did you put your stop? Right.
It's in my head at the moment. It's not on the chart, but it's right below the burgundy line. You can see where it bought off firmly.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, and that's the big level, right? The Fibonacci level down there, bottom of the 8 a.m. candle, which is also approximately the breakout area. That's the trade I'm going for. Basically, a retest of the breakout that happened yesterday. Retesting, which is right at that level.
Quick question for you, Thor.
Yes, sir.
When you have ES and SPY at different cam levels, like one might be at S4 and the other at R3, which one do you place more emphasis?
SPY, absolutely.
Okay.
That's like saying, do you bet on the horse or bet on the horse race? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm betting on the horse. The SPY will always be the leader. And if you're trading SPY and Q, you may want to, like, one of the things that's always interesting is I hear people say like, oh, I'm going to get in a position on Apple, so I'm going to watch Qs. It's actually kind of like the other way around. Like a lot of the time, the ETFs are waiting for the underlying to start moving or to get catalyst, right? So it's almost backwards. Yeah, but if I was going to be watching SPY, for instance, or trading the ES, I would feel more comfortable about getting long in ES right now, even though I didn't get all the way to S3. And the reasoning being is because SPY is already at S3. Right. So and on a wider range. So on SPY, this is exactly where I would look to buy on SPY if I was gonna be buying. Yeah. Look at that nice buy, and then we held.
Yeah, let's see it break this time. Buying the opening price, as you were mentioning, ideally break the highs.
We had a big seller that just hit right there, and the market maker completely inventoried the sell.
Nice.
So does it make sense to watch SPY as you're trading NES?
Certainly.
I mean,
the thing is, the system works when the system works. It's going to happen. It's kind of like there's a lot of indicators that are really, really beneficial. And then what you'll find in the long run is you kind of end up leaning things down. So just as long as it doesn't overtly bias you. So for instance, like if you see a really big seller at at S3, or a really big buy at S3 on ES, and SPY's not at S3 yet, I wouldn't wait for SPY to get there. You know what I mean? It's an individual market. And if you think about it, like, you know, futures they're not even like really a thing, right? They're, you know, we're basically like, oh, I don't want to trade ETFs. So what can I do? Oh, well, we're just going to create our own pool of liquidity and we're just going to trade contracts. Well, yeah, but surely those contracts mean you get something. No, it's just cash settled, right? It's like you actually don't get anything at all. There's a couple of futures contracts you do, the commodities ones. Some of the full size ones, you know, you can get a barrel of oil if you want delivered. But for the most part, you know, all of this stuff is just a gambling pool. You know, it's just cash settled contracts that we can toss around and have a good time with.
Thanks.
But yeah, I would watch the underlying. If you're gonna watch a leader versus a laggard, I would definitely watch the SPY, not watch the future.
Got it. Thank you.
You guys see the impact? You guys see the impact of time decay now? See the low that just happened on the SPY is higher than that previous low, and but on the options, it's actually very, very close to it. This is time decay already having its say. So I'm really being careful with where the stop is.
The longer it sits here, right?
Yeah, the longer it sits there, the more the contract just disintegrates. But my stop is based on the SPY, on the underlying, like Thor was saying, you're watching the underlying. So my stop is based on the underlying. That's why it's really tricky to put a stop on the options contract. You just don't know where to put it. You know, where will the option be when it hits where I want to stop out on the SPY? I don't know. It's a function of time. That's why. So it's just a matter of really watching it and then being flexible with your risk.
I know Nathan's been goofing around with spot gamma and stuff like that, and I know he can see some of the curves that are coming across, and you can see kind of when you're going to lose that.
Yeah, spot gamma is selling. I mean, even for Nasdaq and S&P 500, it was trying to divert price to us, but the options are just selling hard right now.
But look, see, anytime someone sells, though, someone's absorbing the sells.
Yeah, and I see that too here in Bookmap too. We're getting a lot of support underneath on both.
It's just not ready yet. What we're waiting for now, everyone, is what I would be personally waiting for now is you're looking for some kind of a large volume hit and like what we call a market structure shift of some sort. You're looking to actually see the algorithm do something, right? We're not actually stock traders. We're algorithm watchers, right? We're looking to see, like, does it do something? When it does it, we're going to do it, right? So now if you're sitting here waiting and you don't see a trigger point, well, that's because there isn't one. You know, I mean, we're kind of at the level. It's a good spot, right? That we had a trigger point here, pow, right? When Avi and I first got engaged, right? So, and this is kind of what we're playing off of, right? So, but you're not even technically wrong until it goes all the way below 592. You know what I mean? Because that's where our discount area is at. But notice we're selling towards that level right now. So we got to be really careful. And I think what Avi's talking about is a big reason. You know, we've got a lot of people that have been loading up here, held through that here, or bailed and then got back in. And we're just running out of time. You know, this thing either has to get going or it's gonna not.
Yep, I'm out of there. It just doesn't don't want to go yet. So I'll wait for it and let's see what happens. What's interesting is it keeps bumping itself at the bottom here. If it makes the new low below the low of day, that's interesting. Then my whole thesis becomes negated for the long.
Right. And then at that point, you know, once this loses this level, that's when we just kind of, you start making decisions about just walking away, because at this point, you don't have a viable thesis anymore. And the one thing you don't want to do is chase a bad day.
Oh, you don't want to.
You know what I mean? That's where most of us are going to go wrong, right? People, you're doing great. You're profitable for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then on day 5, you just get committed to your positioning, and sure enough, you just rattle off a couple G's for no reason and give your whole week back.
Yep. No, stick to your plan always. You know, one thing I like to do firmly with these levels I trade off of, I never want to have a thesis to go both directions at the same time. You're thinking about, oh, you know, at this level, it might be a short, it might be a long. I don't want to approach a level with that attitude. I make my decision beforehand. It's a long based on a 30-minute time frame. So if a long sets up on 1 minute, okay, I'm in it. But I won't suddenly flip it around, because that is just over trading. You have to have a whole new thesis. Why is it going the other way? I've been chopped up before like that. Like, this is no big deal. Take a couple of opportunities. It was worth it. No big deal. And now let's see. For now, I don't see the long on the 1 minute, even though it's buying off. Like I was saying earlier, what concerns me is these highs just getting lower and lower. Every time I've entered, it made a lower high. So I'm not encouraged to try it again until the behavior changes. And anyways, I'm looking at various other levels for the day.
So just backing Avi up on what he's saying. So this is my cheat sheet for my plays that I do. So every single play that I have and where I want it to open, the directional movement I want it to make, and all those things I've already specified here. If it's a wide range, I play the plays that go towards the middle, right? If it's a narrow range, I play the plays that go away from the middle, right? So like, for instance, some of my plays are near S4, right? Well, if it's a wide range, I pick that one. If it's a narrow range, I pick that one. Right. So there's already kind of an inherent built-in directionality to what this should do. And if it doesn't, then I don't take it. I mean, it's kind of easy that way.
Yep.
Would it be time to not cut the MES trade short right now, since it's like making a lower loss?
I mean, I wouldn't trade it short right now because it's not in the right range to go short. But
No,
I mean, it
I'm
could
saying
be a short. But
if we enter long, would it be, even though it didn't hit the stop loss, would it be time to exit at this point?
for me, if I was long on this right now, my stop would be below low of day. So, and I wouldn't be wrong unless it went through low of day. But I'm like more, think of me as more of like an intraday swing trader, right? Like I really, so when I started trading, I wanted to be a swing trader, right? So, and I started trading when the current administration was the past administration. So guess what wasn't a good idea? Swing trading, right? Like, just horrible idea, right? So now are there obvious moments where, we get some really good moves in the SPY? Sure. But kind of what I decided working on was, why not just start doing, if we go from here down to here, why not just buy that and get that move from there? And then the next day I'll buy that, get the move from there to there. The next day, oh, look, no good setups. It just chopped. I don't even have to worry about that day. And then this day, buy here to here. This day, let it dip, buy the dip from here to here. So all I basically do is I'm like an intraday swing trader. I'm just always trying to run ranges on these candles from top to bottom. I buy low and sell high. It's really not that, not that kind of a thing. So, but for me, there's always going to be a low of day, right? So if you can get your stop above there and it runs through, it stops and then comes down, sets up and does it again, get in again below the low of day. At some point I'm going to be that, and then I'm going to try and run that range all the way from there to there. So, and my targets for my concepts there are going to be ATR, right? So I use these ATR guides, right? So if we buy here, right, the potential on SPY is a movement to 602 right now, right? There's still a ton of potential today because of how narrow the range is, right? And not for nothing, SPY closes the gap to PDC at least 3/4 of the time, which we have not yet accomplished today. So playing away from those statistical likelihoods for me just doesn't feel good. I mean, even if it is a short, it just seems too low probability for me to get involved with getting short on SPY. I would still firmly agree in being a long, and I would just have my stop, below low of day. But my target would be all the way out to R4. Like, this thing's got a ton of potential if it gets going.
Sure, that kind of statistics of 75% SPY goes close the PC gap. Where did you get those numbers?
Let me show you. Right here.
That's like amazing.
watch right here. So I'm going to pull up stock. I'm going to pull up SPY off reports, and I'm going to pull up the gap fill statistics for the last 6 months. Right. So it's, look right here. So, over the past 6 months, it has closed the gap 70% of the time. Right. So it's not bad. You know what I mean? So you can, it fills pretty well, whether it's gapped up or gapped down. It's going to run back for PDC more often than it doesn't. Right. So like right now, our bias is currently bullish right now, right? Because our gap status is not filled.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really fun service, this Edgeful one. If you guys are just looking for stats, it's a really cool one. You can build your own screeners, your own watch lists. You can make your own custom reports, and they've actually got some new modules they're putting in here where you can actually load your playbook into it and then run your playbook against their data on their AP, run it against their data and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool service.
Awesome. Thank you, Tor.
My pleasure.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
see
Avi,
this, yeah, go ahead.
just looking at your 1 minute chart now,
Yeah, I'm watching
so
it.
it shows when you were talking about it made lower highs on each attempt, right? Does that change your strategy to now? Do you not enter again until it actually breaks one of those highs?
See, if it breaks one of those highs, it's too far off my level, too far to enter. My ideal setup is I enter and I put my stops right below the level. Now, I don't mind putting it at the green line, which is, look at 30 minutes right next to the level. So no big deal. Entering above the green line, let's stop right below. No big deal. I think I did that the first time.
The 50 is going to be so important. There's an algorithm walking down the 50 SMA. You can just see it every time it goes to the 50. Yeah. It's hitting. So the signal for this long is going to, the break of the 50 is going to be, and claim of the 50 will be a big deal.
And you'll see that aggression come in when it wants to go through there. It'll come in fast. And one thing also I'm observing here is these lows are getting higher, which is in line with my bigger thesis, the bigger picture. So it's still on. The trade is still on as far as the long 30-minute picture is concerned. But just waiting for more confirmation to overcome these higher lows. Sorry, what am I saying? Lower highs. Goddamn. Lower highs. So that's only my point.
Line at 592.90 is what?
It's yesterday's activity. See where it found a lot of resistance. These two wicks in the same place, and then it broke out. Then the retest. This is a key level.
There's our rising trend on SPY.
Yeah, I can see the aggression in that right now.
So you look at that. So yeah, now we're buying into the 50. So if we're gonna sell, this will be what we're looking for right here. So there's an algorithm. These market makers, everybody, this is all algorithms, right? So once you start to buy into that, just think of yourself as like a private investigator, right? And it's your job to go through and figure out which algorithm's the boss today, because there's multiple, which one's the driver today, and where is it driving from? So you can see here, as we've been, there's been this descending wedge. Well, why? Well, you can see the 50s just coming right in here. Right. Anytime this gets up in the 50, the algorithm hits it, and then look to the downside. We started our move here. We came back and offered. So let's mark that with trend. We held trend. Right. So now we have a rising wedge against this moving average. Right. So now look, we finally have closed above that. If we buy through that premium area right there, there should be a fairly significant response to that. So where are we going to find a seller? Right there at the open. Right where we expect it. So if you see these things happen, this will help keep you from getting freaked out if you get into a long position and then it kind of sells against you for a second, because you should definitely find a seller right there at the open. The question is, do they buy that seller, or do we get a response that it creates an engulfing candle back to the downside? If we get a big sell response, then we're not ready still. So you can kind of hunt in on those. That's fun. I love watching these algos work. We should buy the top side of the 50 when we're ready, go up and break.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Just waiting to break.
There it is. There it is right here. We're holding. We're going to try and hold it. Let's see if they pull it off. If they make a new low here, it kind of kills it. Look down.
That green line is the key.
Be hanging on here.
But like if I was in this position, I would be in somewhere right down here, and my stop would just be below low of day. So, and I would just hold for, I'd be holding for like a movement all the way to like 598 or something like that if it works. No use tripping over dollars to pick up dimes. You know what I mean? If this thing gets going, it's going to be one heck of a move. But just think about it. We're still taxiing down the runway. We haven't even taken off yet.
Yep. Waiting for that true aggression to come in and end this trend of lower highs. That for me is the key, which aligns.
There's our new high after the claim of the 50 right there. Yep. That's pretty nice.
That's the one that makes sense. All right. Now, if it pulls back, I have another opportunity to get involved. Otherwise, let it go and take the next level up.
So we now have something different, right? The algorithm was doing the same thing for the past, 45 minutes or something like that. We now finally have it doing something a little bit different. We're going to go offer premium. That should be at, our next seller should be at 593.65 will be where we should hit our next seller.
Hey, I just want to mention everyone in the chat about what Avi just did. I don't know if anyone realized, but Avi, you took 2 big trades. You're down. You saw an opportunity on the SPY. You didn't see an entry and you never took it. You never rushed into it, and you're waiting for your plan. And I think that's just great resilience, and I admire your ability to stick to your plan, man. That's incredible.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. You're going to get stopped out. You got to accept it. Just make sure you don't lose more than you can afford. That's the whole point about stopping out. Other than that, there's plenty of opportunity. It's a gold mine. So just wait for it.
I like that too. Very nice. Your check is in the mail, by the way. We appreciate you.
Send it. Well, I'll take it. I'll take whatever. Yeah, the behavior here is different. I like it, but a little careful about entering up here. It's still it's become a little far extended from where I like to enter.
They still haven't really tiered the book really well to the top side. I would like to see more action up there, but I mean, yeah. So it's the right spot.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, that level's right. I put this one here. This is basically the opening price, but these 2 little tweezers right here in the breakout bouncing off again, micro pattern is what I'm looking at here. That's what created the new higher high. But it's just not worth me to enter in this area. I'm going to remove it. If it drops to this 593 zone, that's when I'll find an entry. If it drops, and it'll be, I think, quick. It'll drop and bounce off quick.
Yeah, it'll be like a spring.
Yeah, that's where I want to find that entry if it does that.
Because one thing I'm kind of with your, like, we're above the open price now, so I would love to see them reoffer 593. What is it, like 593.10 basically, or 08? I'd love to see them reoffer that and then find a good buyer there. Someone to really buy the open. Set like a nice swing low. And then we can get this thing rocking and rolling. But right now, anytime we try and offer premium, the volume just goes, it just tanks.
Yeah, pushing down. I'm curious about the 5 minute. What do we have? Yeah, even a new high there. So good. The behavior has changed. That is good. More confirmation. But right now, I'm seeing this little micro pattern. Again, these little tweezer tops. Breakout, retest last couple of minutes, even right now. It's buying right off of that. Okay, this is the first time it drops below. Okay, here we go. This might be it.
All right, they're offering to open now. Let's see if anyone buys the open.
93.
If not, we'll offer your level again.
Yeah.
The top of the 50 is right at 593, so we could reoffer the average to see if the algorithm starts buying the average.
There we go. Come on, lower, lower, lower. Lower is better. There we go. Okay, right at 5. Okay, here's the bouncy area. This is the bouncy area. Getting in very slowly, little by little. Let's see if it wants to bounce. It's not really going. It's making lower lows. Just wick through there.
All right, we closed the candle.
593, key number there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I want to add in above 593. I want to see that momentum go through it. Not really. Oh, there it is. Okay, now we have a chance. Get
buyer.
Yep, there. I see that. Okay, that's the place. Okay, you can see how aggressive that is. I'll be careful not to get a bad fill.
Buyer and some tiering now, finally. So 594.10 just brought orders above it. That's near pre-market high.
Cool. 594.10. Okay, way up. Nice. That is encouraging. Well, let's see. So my stop is basically very tight in this case, which actually allows me to put on more size. I don't know why I didn't.
I mean, if it made a new low below the previous 1 minute, that'd be enough for me. It shouldn't wick that too hard, your level area there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Moment of truth.
Yes.
Absorption on the sell. That's good. They lifted when it sold. That's really good.
Yes.
Let's see what they do here.
A little bit more further in. At this point now, I need more confirmation. More confirmation before adding in. At this point.
Yeah. They've been really chopping this range, trying to be a pain in everyone's butt today. Nice choppy market.
Fun, huh?
Yesterday
was so much simpler. Get in the first 10 minutes and you're on your way. Just went up.
Done.
Yeah, yesterday was just like, all right, no big deal. Today is like, all right, sit there and use a little brain power. Okay.
We have
higher lows, flattening top. I like this.
We don't have any Fed speaking till like 1, so that should be fine. We're just rolling off of Red Book info, and Red Book info is normally pretty weak sauce. So that explains why the market's so stinking choppy, and there's not really any good catalyst to carry it this morning.
It's going to be slow. Whatever move you get into, it's going to be a slow move.
We need a tweet.
Somebody tweet. Someone in here.
Somebody tweet something. Somebody act like you're going to do something you're not going to do.
Yeah, Juan, go ahead.
Good morning, Abby. Good morning, Thor.
Hey, morning, Juan.
I wonder, Thor, when you trade stocks, do you look for correlation with the SPY, or do you trade your stock independently? What is happening with the SPY or the Qs?
Independently. In this instance, I do not believe that stocks go up and down based upon the SPY and the Qs. Rather, I believe it's the other direction. I think the SPY and the Qs go up and down based upon the underlying. So, for instance, you don't want to be going long on Qs if there's really horrible news against Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Why? Because those 3 tickers alone make up, like, I think 28% or 30% of the total share of the Qs, right? So you don't want to like be playing against those guys, you know, or playing Qs against those guys. Ooh, that was a big seller. So you don't really want to get. So for me, I don't like having. When it comes down to it, each individual ticker is an individual market, right? So a lot of the people, you kind of think of the stock market as a market. The stock market is not a market. The stock market is an exchange, right? It's a location where multiple markets are listed. Each individual ticker is its own market with its own catalyst, its own dividend yields, its own participants, its own market makers, you know, its own algorithms. You know, most tickers have 2 or 3 market makers that specialize. And actually market makers are called specialists, right? They're actually not called market makers. If you're on the NYSE, that's technically the wrong term, right? They're called specialists. We just designate them as a market maker. So DMM being the term, designated market maker. So this is why tickers have personalities, because the majority algorithm and the market makers that are involved in that ticker every single day are the same people. Every single day. This is why it's better to actually focus on 1 or 2 tickers, really learn them intimately. You know, it's one of the reasons I like futures so much, because the futures don't have a market maker technically. It's all algo driven, but it is just one algo. So that does the majority of the heavy lifting, all the issuing from CME, right? So once I learned kind of how the algorithm does what it does, you know what I mean? It made it a lot easier to read for me. So yeah.
Thank you, Thor.
Nice. And guys,
Speaking
it is 10:30 now. So,
10:30
already. Yeah, we got
hot tub time.
Yes, let's do it. I want the hot tub.
All right, breakfast and hot tub. I'll get some avocado toast and bring it to the hot tub. I'll see you there, Avi. I just got it on a plane. You get beer, I got toast. All right, so everybody, a party hanging out with you guys always. How much fun is it just hanging out with y'all? Avi, always fun, brother.
Awesome. Take it easy, guys. Thanks, Thor. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Thor. Thanks, Avi. Catch you all later.
Yes.